Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Hospitality at Home. I'm your teacher, Miss Budgel. No doubt you've heard that there's a surplus of potatoes in Canada, and we all need to do our part by eating potatoes. So today, I'm going to teach you how to make oven fries. Our ingredient list today is very straightforward. I'll be using some vegetable oil, some fresh salt and pepper, and of course, potatoes. For equipment today, I'll be using my cutting board, my chef's knife, a spatula, and a vegetable peeler, which is optional. I'll also be using a rimmed baking sheet. It's very important that you use baking sheets that have a raised lip going all the way around so that way none of the oil slides off and into the stove, which could become a fire hazard. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to turn up the oven to 450. We want to get it nice and hot so that way we will crisp the outside of the potatoes. If we notice they're starting to cook too quickly, we can always turn the heat down. Once you've got your oven preheated, now you're going to take your lined baking pans and you're going to coat them liberally with some vegetable oil. Reason for that is we do not want the potatoes to stick. After my pans have been nicely oiled up, I'm going to put them directly into the oven. The reason for this is that way once the potatoes are ready to go in, they will go into the hot oil, they will start cooking right away. Now it's very important that you use an oil that has a high smoke point. We are putting in these pans with oil into a very hot oven, and oils with a low smoke point will start to smoke and could possibly even burst into flame. So it's very important that we use an oil like a vegetable oil which has a high smoke point. Our first step is that we are going to want to wash our potatoes. You want to make sure they are nice and clean and any dirt has come off of them. There are lots of different variety of potatoes available for purchase, so it really just comes down to preference. Today I'll be using some white potatoes because they were on sale. Next I'm going to slice up my potatoes into whatever shape I would like. Popular shapes are potato wedges, shoestring fries, or even hash browns. It really doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. You want them all to be about the same because skinny ones will cook faster and wider ones will take longer to cook. So if they're all the same, that way you won't have any burnt and you won't have any raw. If you notice any discolorations on your potatoes, like this one here, you can remove it with the eye remover of your potato peeler. My potatoes are sliced, so I'm going to add a little bit more of my vegetable oil, and I'm going to turn them to cooked. I have taken my hot pan out of the oven with the hot oil, so very carefully I am going to pour my cut potatoes onto the pan. I'm going to make sure to pour it away from me so that way I don't get spattered with hot oil. Then I'm just going to use my spatula to spread them into an even layer. After I've got them well spaced out in an even layer, it's back into the oven for approximately 30 minutes. I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes so that way I can turn them and check on their progress. In 15 minutes, let's see how they're doing. So they are sizzling, they are ready to be turned. So while they're not quite done, they are starting to cook really well around the outside. So I'm just going to turn the temperature down just a little bit because I don't want them to be too crispy. I'm also going to set my timer for 10 minutes and then I'm going to check them again. The timer's gone off. These look done. So I'm going to take them out of the oven, lay them on some paper towel to blot up some of the extra grease. So I'm just blotting up some of the extra grease. And then this is another good time to hit it with some fresh salt. And there you have it, beautiful restaurant-worthy fries you can make at home. And here we have it, homemade oven fries served with a veggie burger. Bon appetit!